in our last video we talked about file handling, but we forgot about one thing, which is dictionary. So in this video we are going to cover dictionary. So what we are going to what we are going to see in this video is how we can create a dictionary. First, what definition, which is what is. Second, create. Third, which will be accessing. Fourth is going to adding or updating. After that we are going to see removing. After removing, we are also going to see if key is there or not. After doing these things, we are going to see looping through a dictionary. We have also seen looping through a list and a tuple. Now we are going to do the same with a dictionary. After that, we are going to see some common operations or methods. After that, nested dictionary. After nested dictionary, we are going to see dictionary comprehension. So these are the things we have to talk about in dictionary. After dictionary, we are also going to see how to make a frequency counter. You will use dictionary for this thing very often. So we are going to see how we can do that. Also going to see another way of doing making a frequency counter. After these things, we also have some practice questions. I will provide their answers. Then some extra questions. So these are the 12-13 things we have to see. So let's just start with what is a dictionary. So how you can describe a dictionary is an unordered key value pair where every value is mutable, and keys can be unique, and a dictionary is mutable. Just like a list, you can change or upgrade after initializing the dictionary. So now we know what is a dictionary. Let's just comment it up. Now we have to talk about how to create a dictionary. So we have done this part. So let's just see how we can create a dictionary. For example, we are taking a dictionary named D. Then you can use this keyword, dictionary keyword, or you can directly initialize the dictionary with curly brackets. These are the two ways how you can initialize in dictionary. If you want to initialize it with some value, let's just take some numbers. What we can write, let's just take some random name. Here, as you can see, this is the key and this is the value. This is the key, this is the value. This is the key, this is the value. What does it mean? If I go for Alice in D, such things like like this, I will get the value 20. I can also change it if I want, but I'm not changing it now. So this is how you can initialize a dictionary. Now the next thing we have to talk about is access. I just told you, like, if we do print d, then give it a key. Here we have this thing as a key. Now let's just see in terminal. Here you can see 20. This is our value, so it will return your value once you give it some key. So now we know about access. You can practice access with different things as well. Now we have to talk about adding or removing. Adding and removing. So we have done these two things. So now adding and removing. How you can add a value, how can you remove a value? Adding a value to this dictionary is pretty simple. Just do D. Let's just take another name, David. Give its value, and that's all you have to do. If the David already exists, its values will change to 35. If not, then it will Python will add it as a new key value pair. So if you print D now, you will get the value. So now you can see 20 from this print statement, and now here is our dictionary with David value 35. So here you can add values, but how can you remove values? That's a certain thing that we have to talk about. There is one thing that you can write. You can just say d dot clear. We have talked about in Python as well. What does it do? It will clean all the data from this dictionary, and d will return to a empty dictionary. You can also use del keyword. It is used to delete. Del here is mean delete. It will delete this key value pair. Now there is come pop. For example, let's just take, we have d dot pop. What does it will do? It will remove the value of Charlie and give you its value in return. Then we also have things like d dot pop. For example, let's just take David, then none. What does it mean? If David exists, it will remove David and give you its value back. But if David does not exist in the dictionary, you will get none as a default return. So you can also define a default return type, and that's how you can remove something from a dictionary. Then we have how we can check. We are done with this as well. Now we have to check if a key is there or not. We can easily do this by, let's just check for key. You can easily do it by writing, for example, we have Alice name, Alice in D. That's all you need to write. Remember how we have done the same thing in with list when we use not and uh, not in and in keyword. In dictionary it goes it is pretty much similar. So there is no need to worry about it. Now we have two things, which is looping through a dictionary. You can loop in many ways through a list. For example, you only want values, or you only want key, and you sometimes you want both of these values. So how you can write? First we are going to see how we can uh, loop through both of these values. So first we are going to take a for loop. We are taking two variables, key, value, in d dot items. So if you see here, we have two values, so we have initialized two variables here. D dot items will give us these values, the values inside the dictionary, and now we are taking these values two at a time. So now if I print, let's just use F statement. Let me remove this print statement and comment this out. So now you can see the result very carefully. Here, as you can see, we got our values. Now what happen if you only want key? You only want to loop around keys. So you can take for key in d dot keys. Here you have to use dot keys keyword, and it goes same for the values, where you have to use dot values pair. So if I just show you, now you can see. First we got our dictionary with values and keys both, then only keys, then only values. So this is how you can loop through a dictionary. Now we are done with the looping part. Let's just move to a next topic, which is some common operations. Some common operations and test dictionary comprehension. After doing these three, we are going to move to the questions, and after questions I will make the frequency counter. So let's just move to the some common operations, comment these things out. So some common operations I already talked about: dot keys, dot values, dot items, dot update is there, and then there's come another. It's just len function. You already know about len, so we don't need to talk about it again. We have already seen these three. Now the only one is dot update. So what does dot update do? It's just simple like adding new values to it, or you can upgrade the previous values. So let's just see if, let's just give it a name, such as we are giving Andrew 40, and it's d dot update. So what it should do, it would oh, I just did one thing wrong. Here we also have to use curly brackets here. So what does dot update do? It will merge this dictionary with our already existing one. So it's kind of work like extend in the list methods. So if I just print D, I should get one with here. You can see Andrew. We have Andrew as here as well. Now we are done with common operations as well. Let's just move to the nested dictionary part. Let me comment it out. And now we are moving to the nested dictionary. For example, let's just take a dictionary named student. It would be easy to explain. Now here we are going to take a key which is S1, and in its value we are giving a dictionary. Now S2, for example, here we can write name. Let me just use the auto suggested code. Here we are also going to use name. Now if you look here, let's just give something else instead of hope. Let's just write Andrew. Now you can see both of these. So in values we are giving data of this student S1. In value of S2 we are giving a data of student S2. If you look closely, you can resemble a little bit similarity between JSON and this nested dictionary. Our nested dictionary is pretty helpful when you have to store data about particular user and multiple users. So here's how you can do that. So if you want to access a particular details of S2, then how you can access them? Let's print student S1. So now you can see we got the details of student S1. If I want something in particular such as grade, here we get the grade A. As you can see here, it's grade A. So that's how nested list dictionary works in Python. Now the last thing we are left with is dictionary comprehension. So let's just, so what does it means and what I can do? Remember, in our list we saw that we don't need to do calculations outside the list. We can also do some calculation inside the list. Like for example, you want to square of all the numbers between 1 to 10 inside a list, then you don't need to calculate those squares first, then append them. You can directly do that thing inside a dictionary, sorry, a list. So here we can do the same. Let's just take a dictionary name. Let's just give it a name square. X will be our key, X square will be our value, and X will come from for X in range 1, 10. So what it should do? It should have X as a value key, then X square as a value. So what it should return? It would be something like 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9, 4, 16, 5, 24, 6, 36, 749, and it goes all the way to 9, like it should look like this. So let's just run it. Is it, we have print statement? No. Let's just print square, and now you can see. So this is what we call list comprehension. A very easy topic, to be honest. You don't need that much time in to spend here. So now we are done with all the basics of dictionary. Now I will show you some questions. Please give us some time to those questions. After that we will talk about the solution of those questions and a frequency counter. So here are these questions. Now you're gonna see these questions for next 10 minutes on your screen. If you think you can't solve them right now, just skip for the next 10 minutes. Hope you all have gave some time to the questions I just showed you, which are these questions. So these 10 questions are there. I have given very basic questions, which is very basic, such like uh, creating and reading a file. So I don't think I need to explain each one of them individually, but I will show you the answer key, so you know that you have done things in a right way. If you just keep integrating the our current topic with previous topics, you can easily do this. If you are done with these questions, we also have some other questions for you as well. I will show those questions at the end of the video. You will also get answer key for those questions, but let's just do and recap what we have done till now and how this thing related to how everything is related together. So for example, here now you know that when we use readline, what it does, it create a list of strings. So we have talked about list. So now you know, after getting all the data in this, all the text variable, what how you can deal with it, you already know that. And inside that list, what we have strings, and you already know about strings as well, so you can deal with strings too. Now what happen if file does not exist? Our code will crash, but to save our code from crashing, we also know about error handling. We we learn about error handling as well. Then if we have to repeat one certain code block again and again, for example this code block, maybe we have to keep on writing and reading the file, then how we can save our time with it? So you can put all of these things inside a function. We have learned about a function as well, if you see. And now if you can, inside this with open you can also use conditional statements. We are already using a loop here. As you can see, we have also talked about loops. So if you see, all of these things are related, and the things we will do in future are also going to be related as well. I think we have forgot about the dictionary part, but we will also talk about dictionary and basic operations and base, and we will also see where we need to use dictionary, such as frequency count is one of the best example where you have to use dictionary, and dictionary are pretty helpful there. So now I'm going to show you the extra practice questions. Please give some time to them as well.